Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Let me introduce first our team, Jeremy Perlman, Associate Attorney General, who is Chief of Enforcement, and also Kim McGee, Assistant Attorney General, and Rahul Darwar, both Assistant Attorneys General in our antitrust group. We are here this morning to announce that the state of Connecticut is suing Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation, along with the Department of Justice and 28 other states and the District of Columbia for violating our nation's antitrust laws and for using its immense monopoly market power to hurt competitors, to limit choice for consumers, to crush competition, and ultimately to stifle innovation. I think all of us know that Ticketmaster and Live Nation is a monopoly. We live it, we feel it, we breathe it, in the same way that when we announced our antitrust actions against Amazon, Apple, Google, I don't have to prove it to you, right? You know that Amazon is dominant in our lives. You know that these devices, this is one of my two iPhones, dominate our lives. You know that Google, the Google machine, is everywhere. And in the same way, you feel and know that Ticketmaster and Live Nation dominate live entertainment and ticketing and concerts and theater everywhere across this country. But in case you don't know, let me just give you some statistics. Ticketmaster, in terms of primary ticketing to major concert venues, controls 80% of that market. For promotions, they promote more than 400 musical artists, including almost every major artist that anybody wants to see, including Taylor Swift. They control 60% of concert promotions at major concert venues across the country. They also own or control 265 concert venues in North America and 60 of the top 100 amphitheaters, 70% of concert tickets at major concert venues, and 65% of primary tickets sold at large amphitheaters. You're going to hear the Department of Justice talk about Ticketmaster and Live Nation in terms of a gatekeeper. The analogy they use is that Ticketmaster and Live Nation are a gatekeeper for live entertainment, or that they've created a flywheel, that's so strong that it gets stronger and stronger as it rotates, and it protects itself and builds this competitive monopoly around itself. I think it's more like a fishbowl, and all of us are trapped in this fishbowl. And I want you to know I was recently, like many Americans, like many parents of teenage girls, trapped in this fishbowl trying to get tickets for Taylor Swift. And for me, it was at LaGuardia. I was heading to Washington, D.C. for an AG meeting. My flight was like at 11, okay? And I got there, maybe it was 9:30, and like many Americans, I had an access code to try to buy Taylor Swift tickets, and the portal opened up at 10 a.m., okay? And I'm sitting there at LaGuardia in the JetBlue terminal, and I look around, and everyone's got their laptops open. Everybody. Okay, and as soon as 10 a.m. hit, I saw everybody typing at the same time their access code. Almost every person sitting there waiting for that flight to DC that day was trying to get in. And of course, as we know, many people were unable to get in. The system crashed. People were hung up, and they thought they were in line and in the queue, and they weren't. But it was the literal and physical manifestation of being at this gate in this fishbowl where all of us are trapped, and where Ticketmaster and Live Nation dominates the entire transaction, the entire experience. So what do I mean by that? I mean that Ticketmaster and Live Nation, they own and run and control a vertical integrated monopoly. Okay, they control the entire stack. Whatever analogy you want to use, all the links in the chain. So from the venue, right, to the promotion, to the ticketing, to the sales to customers, They control everything, from the fan experience to the venue. And the way they maintain their monopoly is all of it's linked together, and they use their tremendous market power to keep you in that fishbowl, to lock you in. So, for example, let's talk about venues. They control most of the big venues, okay, or they have exclusive arrangements with those venues, or they have exclusive arrangements with their sort of competitors who are now their partners to control those venues. So either Ticketmaster and Live Nation own the venue, okay, and if you're an artist, you've got to use that venue. If you're a fan, you've got to go through Ticketmaster to get access to the concert at that venue. And if you're not owned by Live Nation or Ticketmaster and you're a venue, if you want Bruce Springsteen, if you want Taylor Swift, if you want, for my kids, it's Blackpink, right? If you want Beyonce, if you want a major sporting event, you've got to use Live Nation's promotion and ticketing technology to get to the fans and the artists. If you're an artist, right, and you want to play at a major concert venue, including the XL Center, you've got to go through Live Nation and Ticketmaster or its partners to get that venue. And you've got to use Live Nation and Ticketmaster's promotion service as concert promoters to get access to those venues. If you want to run a big nationwide or international tour, you got to use Live Nation, Ticketmaster, or it's not going to happen. Okay, if you're an artist, you're totally locked in. If you want the biggest venues, if you want to get the most tickets sold, you've got to go through Ticketmaster and Live Nation. And of course, for the fans, you have no choice. We're stuck in that fishbowl. There's nowhere else to go but through Ticketmaster and its technology portal. So, if you're a venue and you want to sell seats, you've got to use Live Nation and Ticketmaster and their technology. If you're a fan, you want to buy seats, you've got to use Ticketmaster and Live Nation to get access. They control the entire stack. And that's what it means to have a vertical integrated monopoly. I think at the end of the day, you're going to hear a lot about how Ticketmaster and Live Nation build a competitive moat around all of us. And so if you think of them, you know, they have this fishbowl, and then I'm mixing metaphors now, they have this fishbowl, and then they build a moat around us, so we're totally trapped. Okay? But what ends up happening for all of us is we have no choice. We have no effective consumer choice. There is no competition in the marketplace. We can go somewhere else, buy tickets through somebody else, use another technology, maybe a more efficient technology, a technology that doesn't crash, that's more reliable, that's cheaper. We don't have a choice to do that, and what we end up doing is we pay for that monopoly. And in antitrust terms, those are called monopoly rents. R-E-N-T-S, monopoly rents. What are monopoly rents? Monopoly rents are service fees, convenience fees, payment processing fees, facility fees, handling fees, shipping fees, ticketing fees. Just pay us because we told you fees. Okay? That's what monopoly rents are, and that's why to go watch a concert this summer, if you have teenagers like I do, hundreds of dollars. I have 3 kids, right? With food and parking and tickets, I don't have several grand for a night out at the Meadowlands. Who does? That's what it means. That's what monopoly rents are. That is the price we pay for their control. One more thing. On top of all of this, not only do they control the entire stack, in the transaction from fan to concert venue and everything in between. Now they're trying to dominate the secondary market too, and they have their own secondary market product. And so at the end of the day, it's clear to all of us that Ticketmaster Live Nation is a dominant, vertically integrated monopoly. And as the Attorney General said just a few minutes ago in Washington, D.C., it's time to break them up. And it's time that Live Nation divest itself of Ticketmaster, and that it do all that we need to do to open up competition, stop harming competitors, stop prejudicing consumers, stop trying to kill competition, innovation, and give us a real choice in live entertainment and in ticketing. And with that, I'm happy to take questions.
What are the Live Nation-owned venues?
The Live Nation-owned venues in Connecticut, I believe, are Xfinity, Oakdale, and Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport.
How did this come about? We're suing now, but they were able to build this monopoly. I'm assuming in a
Yeah.
way.
So I wasn't Attorney General, and Merrick Garland was an Attorney General when Live Nation was allowed to acquire Ticketmaster. I think a lot of people thought at that time this isn't going to go good, and it didn't. And there have been at least 2 consent decrees. There's an agreement at the beginning when they allowed the merger to happen about what they would and would not do. And then in 2019, there's an enforcement action brought and another consent decree that basically says you can't use your market power to go up and roll up all of these, all of your competitors, right? Go and acquire all of your competitors, for example. And to roll up competitors at all the different levels of the stack. So as you can see, they're not just focused, Ticketmaster isn't just focused on ticketing, right? It's that Ticketmaster plus Live Nation enables them to dominate at the venue level, at the promotion level, at the artist representation level, right? At the ticketing and technology level, and then the fan interaction. By the way, when they control venues, they also control food, t-shirts, parking. They're making money coming and going at every level. And what they weren't supposed to do was to make it worse and to go buy up even more of their competitors and to further strengthen that moat. They have utterly failed to follow the consent decrees and the undertakings that they agreed to. So here we are.
You spoke about the monopoly brand. Ticketmaster has already responded in a statement. They said that they don't control the price of the tickets, the artists do. They don't control the additional fees the venue does. What's your response to that?
Absurd. You know, we pay a Ticketmaster tax, many different Ticketmaster taxes on all the tickets that we pay. You know, if they're not controlling it, who is? They control the promotion, they control where the artist gets to play, they control the venues. In the venues, they control, as I said, the food and the t-shirts and the parking. They control the ticketing and technology and the software. Nobody else even comes close. Okay, when I said that they control 265 concert venues and 60 of the top 100 amphitheaters, there's no number 2. Nobody even comes close. So if they're not in control, who is?
The venues controlled by CERTA, the Excel Center and Ranchwood, have trouble getting concert dates. Is this an outgrowth of that, or is this just simply the fact that there are now 2 significant outdoor amphitheaters that are kind of snatching up that business?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that question because I'm not an expert in that business. Although, I think we do know and we have evidence to show that what Ticketmaster and Live Nation do is they engineer the concert booking process to maximize their profits. So, for example, if there's a promoter, a minor promoter, or an artist that won't play ball and doesn't play by the rules, they'll shut them out of a venue, even if they want to play Hartford. They'll leave Hartford empty or dark, or they'll leave Bridgeport empty or dark, unless they get their way. And so that's likely happening to a certain extent. I can't tell you, why they're not booked every single night. I'm sure there are business dynamics around that, but we do know that they have the ability. They are so dominant that they control who gets to play where and when.
What are you hoping is the outcome of the lawsuits? Is that you want them to reverse the merger, or what exactly?
Yeah, we think that Live Nation and Ticketmaster can no longer coexist under one roof. And on top of that, look, everything's on the table, okay? And we'll want them to make it right for consumers, which means we don't want them to charge all these ridiculous fees. We want them to be transparent about what a concert ticket costs. So you and I may want to go see a show, right, this summer, and you may look online and your first search tells you that the ticket's $200, but by the time you get to the end of the transaction and you get to your shopping cart at the end online, it's not $200. It's $250, $275, whatever it is. It's a lot more than you thought it was. And those are the monopoly rents that I'm talking about, that are larded on consumers, and we have effectively no choice but to pay. I can't go anywhere else if I want to take my girls to go see Taylor Swift. I have no choice, absolutely no choice. I have to go through Ticketmaster. I have to go where Ticketmaster has placed the concert. I have to go through its technology portal. Everything is at their mercy. And it's not just Taylor Swift, it's just an example that many people here have lived through.
Would the success of the lawsuit be that they are not going along with things, violating the decrees that were put in place, or they have not followed them? Is that?
I don't think we have any confidence that, if they said, oh no, you're right, sorry, we'll follow what we agreed to do in, what was the original merger, 15, 16?
2009.
Oh, 2009, okay, 2009, and then 19 was the consent decree. If they came back and said, sorry, we'll comply, I don't think anybody believes them, because they're so powerful and dominant. Why do they get away with all this? Because they can. It's not like we haven't been complaining. It's not like consumers haven't been complaining. You all hear it. You probably have your own complaints. It's not like they don't know. It's because they don't care. They're literally too big to care.
How would divestment of Ticketmaster address the issue of their control of the vast majority of venues?
Well, I think it would decouple the ability to use the ticketing, right, as a disciplinary tool against other venues. And so if Live Nation owns and is in charge of venues, it also uses its ticketing control to discipline other venues and to discipline artists. So if you decouple them, then Live Nation loses the ability to leverage its ticketing technology to get artists and promoters and other venues to play ball. And conversely, Ticketmaster will not have the ability to use its Live Nation muscle to force venues and artists and promoters to use Ticketmaster's technology and enrich itself that way. Anybody else? Let me just close by saying this is an antitrust case, and this is the antitrust team, but this is entirely about consumer protection. This is the core of what we do in the Attorney General's office. Sometimes, and you will hear as this case proceeds, antitrust can devolve into a conversation about markets and about market share and market power. This is about consumers. It's about choice. It's about how we effectively have no choice, how we live in this Ticketmaster enforced fishbowl and we pay for it. And frankly, I don't know about you, I'm tired of it. I think a lot of us are, and that's why we're taking this action. Thank you.